goodness. I guess it's story time. Is this thing recording? Yes, it is. Okay, so, I just got back from Tybee Island in Savannah, Georgia. And, I invited a friend to go with me, who I will keep anonymous for confidentiality's sake. And, it just started snowing about 10 minutes ago. It's absolutely beautiful outside. It's picturesque. Anyway, so I texted my friend. He's living in a halfway house. He's white. He's living with predominantly African-American housemates. And he felt threatened. It's a very bad neighborhood. It's over in Portland and Louisville, Kentucky. Just, he's not from the streets. He's actually... His mom and dad are millionaires, so he comes from money. He doesn't realize that he's a bit snobbish, but he is. I'm from homeless shelters, you know. I work with the poor addicts on the streets and stuff. Buy them food, counsel them, whatever I can do to try to help them. Again, I'm an addiction counselor. Freelance at this point. But anyway, man, I did not anticipate the shit show that happened last night. So I'll just try to keep this brief. As I usually say, this usually goes on for 15 or 20 minutes, but I really will try to keep this short. So anyway, I texted David and I said, hey, you're in a situation where you're, you know, not doing a lot in life, having fun, kind of fun stuff. And how would you like to go on a road trip with me? Like, I'm always taking road trips. I just got back from California twice. Was going to go back to Tybee Island, Savannah, Georgia for the fourth time in 2 months. I just love traveling. I love driving. I'm a photographer of 20 years, so I take a lot of pictures and things. And anyway, he said, sure, man, I'd love to go. And I said, okay. You don't have to worry about splitting the gas money. Like, I'm going to be going anyway, and I'm paying gas, so I'll take care of that. And as long as you can take care of most of your food, like, I'll help you out a little wherever I can, but just, you know, have some pocket money. And so anyway, we get to Tybee Island, have a great time. We're out seeing the ocean and on the beach and seeing the surf shops, just, you know, driving around, having a great time. And before we left Indiana, I had taken him to a Thai restaurant. I said, my dime, man, let me take you out to eat. Just enjoy yourself. So I bought a Thai dinner for him, one for me. And then when we got to downtown Savannah, I went to a restaurant with him and I said, hey, do you want some, let's get some more Thai food. So we went to this Vietnamese fusion Thai restaurant. He said he had $100 that he could borrow on Cash App, but that's all the money that he had. So I said, I'll foot the bill. Just have a good time. So bought him another Thai dinner. The next day, we were on the island, Tybee Island, and I said, man, there's this awesome restaurant called the Crab Shack, just the Crab Shack. And they have phenomenal snow crab, and they give you sausages with, you know, potatoes and corn on the cob, and I can also get us some really good clam chowder, homemade with big chunks of clams in it, just the best clam chowder I've ever had. Like, I'll pay for it. So we did, and had a great time. And during this trip, we were gone for a week. He's buying McDonald's for himself, which is cool. You know, that's his pocket money, his $100 on Cash App. But it just really rubbed me the wrong way that he didn't even offer to buy me like a cheeseburger. Not even like, hey, let me buy you something. Let me get you a cheeseburger. Like, he didn't even offer at all. One time he had an extra cheeseburger that he offered to give me, but it was his. He'd already paid for it. So I just was like, and also I went to the smoke shop and I was like, hey, the cigarettes are $5 a pack cheaper here. You might want to pick yourself some up because you don't have any. And I was giving him my cigarettes the whole time. He said, no, I don't want to pay the money for them. And I'm like, you're a smoker, but that doesn't make any sense. I happen to have 2 wooden pipes in the car with 2 full bags of Turkish tobacco. So naturally I'm just a very giving person, you know. I like to give more than I like to receive, and that is the truth. So I said, all right, look, just go ahead and smoke my tobacco. Here, take one of my pipes. You can't have it, but I'll let you smoke it. You know, since obviously you're not gonna buy cigarettes, so okay. So he's smoking all my tobacco, which is fine. I told him he could. And, you know, eating all the dinners on my dime, which is, again, okay. I told him he could. But he just was so stingy with his Cash App money. I've got my own money. I don't need his money. But it's the thought. It's the principle of the matter. You know, everything to me is, it comes down to the principle of a situation. He just was so stingy. He would go and get him stuff from the Dollar Tree, you know, munchies and stuff, and would not even offer anything to me. I just really started seeing a different side to him, that he was just very selfish. And the whole time I'm like, yeah, you can keep smoking my tobacco. And I bought some tequila, which, you know, it was $40 for a large bottle. And I was like, I'm gonna get some tequila. Oh yeah, I'd love some tequila. I bet you would. He did not offer to pay 1 penny. He could have shot me a 20, you know, on Cash App and been like, here, let me go in half. Didn't even offer. So I let him drink my tequila. You know, at this point, I'm like, you're a dumbass. Me, you're a dumbass. You're allowing him to do all of this, so don't complain if you're going to allow it. You know, that's just how it is. So I just started getting to a point where I was, and you know what? He would cop an attitude. He would just be really, he's like, well, I'm starting to learn the things that annoy you. Like, he said that to me first thing in the morning, and I hadn't even had coffee yet. My brain wasn't working yet. And I said, do you know how that comes off? Do you know what you sound like when you say that? The things that annoy me? I said, that annoys me. You know, I haven't even had coffee yet. Like, man, let me wake up. And I said, that's just not something that you say to somebody. It just comes off as, like, peak assholery. You know what I mean? Like, just don't. So anyway, he has a court date tomorrow. And I made sure to get him back to Kentucky, where he lives actively at a halfway house. I told him, I said, I'll make sure that I get you there for your court date. I did. We were about 40 miles from where he stays, and I'm like, the road trip is over. You know, we're almost home. But he was asleep. He had not mentioned anything about where he's going to go back. Is he going to go back to his halfway house? What are his plans? I decide what I'm going to do every day. I may leave town and go to another state 2 days from now. I just don't ever know. I kind of wing it. I play by ear. All my kids are grown. My mom passed 4 months ago. She's in heaven, you know. I don't have to take care of anybody anymore. It's me and my dog Jackson, my little Yorkie. So I just was like, I wanted to give him the courtesy to figure out what he's going to do. Or he had mentioned it to me. So I woke him up about 45 minutes to an hour away from where he lives. I said, hey, wake up, man. We're almost home. Oh. So I've decided that I'm going to stay in Indiana until the spring. I need to put new tires on my SUV. I need to work on the brakes. You know, I just got to make it road ready and stuff, you know. So where do you want me to drop you off at? Because obviously the road trip is over and we're almost home. He looked at me and said, so you're kicking me out? And I said, no, I'm dropping you off. The road trip is over. I've literally spent $500 of my money on you in the last week, and you haven't even offered to pitch in anything, and you're still smoking my tobacco, and, you know, I'm not kicking you out. I'm dropping you off. Our road trip is over. I fulfilled my obligations. I took you on a trip to Tybee Island. We had a great time, and now I'm taking you home. We're almost home, so where do you want me to drop you off at? He proceeded to get on his phone, go into full-blown panic mode, call his family, call his friends. Yeah, she said she wasn't going to kick me out, but she's kicking me out. I don't know what I'm going to do, you know, and I literally was like, I never said I wasn't going to kick you out. I don't think about kicking him out. That didn't enter my mind. Why would I say, I'm not going to kick you out? Like, it didn't even enter my mind. Anyway, that was strike number one. And then I looked at him and I said, dude, I have literally been taking care of you the whole week. Taking care of you. He said, no, you haven't. And I was like, oh, okay. I haven't spent $500 on you, taking you to 4 nice restaurants, letting you drink my tequila, smoke all my tobacco, you know, on and on and on. Like, didn't ask for any gas money. Like, it's been my dime the whole time. And I haven't taken care of you. Like, you're going to sit there and tell your family, your dad, that I haven't taken care of you and I'm kicking you out of my car. Like, I'm trying to drop you off. You're a responsible adult. Anyway, it just turned into the most massive shit show. It got ugly fast. And he kept calling different people saying, she's kicking me out. She's kicking me out. I knew she would kick me out. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make you an honest man. You're going to paint me out to be the bad guy. He said, you are the bad guy. And I was like, that's it. That's it. So I went to the next gas station, pulled in there. I said, get your shit and get out of my car. Do not text me. Do not call me. I do not want you in my life. Get out of my car. Get out of my life. Stay away from me. You're toxic. And he literally reached for my phone, tried to take my phone out of the little holder I've got here, and I grabbed it before he could. He said, you're not going to kick me out. And I just was like, dear God, he is insane. And then he tried to lunge for my keys. He had my keys in the ignition with both hands, was trying to rip the keys out of the ignition. I finally got his hands off the keys. I had to threaten to do bodily harm to get him to remove the keys. But he finally removed his hands from the keys. I popped the trunk. I got out to get his things out of my car, and he locks me out of my own car. Locked the door, held the lockdown so I couldn't even, and he's calling the police. He's literally on the phone with the police. She's trying to abandon me in the middle of nowhere, blah, 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 and just insane. So I thought, you little snitch, calling the police and literally crying tears saying, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm in the middle of nowhere. He was 27 miles from his house. I was like, you can buy yourself a lift. I'm not taking you one more mile on my dime. So I thought, you know what? I could call the police too. So I called 911 and I reported that I had a lunatic in my car that wouldn't get out of my car, that was trying to steal my possessions, rip my keys out, take my phone, locking me out of my own car. The police get there and they made him leave my car. Needless to say, I'm done taking people with me on road trips, because the road trip before that was an equal shit show, where my former best friend of 20 years was screaming at the top of his lungs while I was driving 80 miles an hour down the highway and threatened me, and I had to leave him in Arizona. Oh yeah, I literally left him at the gas station. I was like, bitch, you do not threaten my life and ask me if I know how much danger I'm in, and say a prayer, God, please help me not to murder this woman. That's all I need to hear. Like, I'm done with the dudes. I'm done giving people rides on road trips on my dime. And it's just me and Jackson now. This is my man. He doesn't cheat on me. No, he doesn't. He doesn't watch porn when I'm taking a shower or cooking dinner. And he loves me, loves me, loves me. Yes, he does. And I love him. That's it. Story time over. Peace out.